So I'm turning 32 years old today, and I wanted to make this video maybe as kind of like an open journal. This isn't some type of training or step-by-step tutorial. It's really just more of a video in time that maybe for people who aspire to have the lifestyle that I have can learn. And also personally for myself, I think it'd just be interesting to check back on this video couple years from now, 10 years from now, even 30 years from now to see where I was at the very beginning of age 32. Well, it goes without say that between the age of 31 and 32, not just things have changed, but the world has changed. We live right now in a time of COVID. Everything that was day-to-day, everything that was normal is changed for now, and the thought is it could be forever. I really hope that's not true. Many people across the country, across the world, have been affected in a negative way. They've lost people that they love, or fiscally or financially are out of employment. I can truly say that right now I am blessed to have neither of those happen, especially with the healthy side of things. Everyone I love is great. And in terms of the financial side of it, the opposite sort of happened in this last year. What happens when people can't go into town to buy or go to a mall? They buy online. And I've been selling things online for 10 years now. So could this be almost me getting lucky at the right time? Sure, I think so. I couldn't have predicted this happen. I didn't know that this COVID would actually make a giant spike in all internet types of businesses. It's been absolutely remarkable. Financially, actually, between the age of 31 and 32, I made the most money I ever have. For the first time ever in a fiscal year, I was able to break 7 figures. That to me is crazy. I never had the goal to do this. I never had the idea that I could. I didn't even know it was possible. Sorry guys, it just started to rain, so I may have to change settings. I'm currently recording this video in Key West, Florida, and I live in a van. Not just a little bit, but full time. Living in a van is something I thought I'd never do. I actually did not even know that was a thing. And contrary to a lot of people think, it was my wife's idea. And Ashley, who's usually the more conservative one in our relationship, had this crazy idea that we should live in a van as a way to travel during COVID. Because before COVID, we were living in Europe. It was amazing, and we planned to travel all the way to Asia and spend an entire year there just like we did in Europe. And COVID disrupted that. We were literally halfway there in Hawaii when COVID hit. I remember something, I'll never forget this. We were on our normal bicycle run. We stopped at a juicery, went to get our juice, and then a local screeched in his super ghetto van and yelled, "Get the F off our island!" The locals were getting restless with tourists coming in, and although we were actually even thinking about moving to Hawaii, we had already spent basically a month there. It was kind of a sign that if we were going to survive COVID, then the next challenge would be to survive not getting, murdered by local Hawaiians. So after that, we spent time quarantining, and it actually was, again, a blessing. I spent the most time I ever have with my entire immediate family. My sister, her boyfriend, my parents, and my wife, all together in one house. I've shared this, and some people say that sounds like a nightmare if I had to spend that much time with my family, or for Ashley to say her in-laws, but it ended up being such an amazing bonding experience that I think made all of our relationships stronger and better. So I'm grateful for it. And it was during that time where Ashley started researching and came across this idea of van life. And hence, we are, at the time of this video, 4 months into van life. We drove all the way from California to Key West, Florida. We've kind of fallen in love with Key West. We're now going to be here just about 30 days. And it's amazing. Right now, there's like this cold front happening in the country. Like Texas is literally frozen, and here we are getting tan and sweating our butts off. So another super reason to be grateful. It's really hard to try to think about an entire year of your life, especially in a format of a video. But what I just want to remember at this point in time is that I'm really grateful. I'm extremely grateful for every single aspect of my life and the problems, I guess if you want to call them that, are of such a first world nature, they aren't even real problems. I have a healthy family. I have a beautiful wife. We have an amazing relationship. We're on an adventure, and my businesses are thriving. And in this last year, TikTok specifically was a platform that really helped blow up my personal brand. And beside the numbers of having a lot of followers, I think what matters the most to me and what I look at is, at the age of 32, to have such profound relationships from people I meet online all across the world. And that's been remarkable. I'm super honored for any person who has bought a course of mine, watched a video, done coaching. These are the people that I think about that have given me purpose at the age of 32. Part of most of how I make a living is very automated. It's you and a computer. There's no people, at least it feels like. And working with people, I think, is what I'm most excited about. Do a lot of different things. I make a lot of money in a lot of different ways, but working with people's the best. There's nothing better or more rewarding than trying to help someone, teach them, watch them take the action, and watch them grow and make improvements. I think that if I had to do a little forecast, I'm 32 now. What does my life look like in 5-10 years, and what am I doing? I don't think I'm gonna be giving up the teaching thing. I think there's a lot of other things I'm doing right now that I probably won't pursue, maybe in 10 years. But helping people, I hope I'm doing that 10 years, 20 years. I hope I'm doing that till the day I die. I think it's infinitely rewarding, and it's something that I'm newer to doing, and it's been amazing so far, and I can't wait to see how that ends up growing. It's starting to rain here, so I'm gonna pick this up in a different place. Okay, sorry about that. Out of the rain now. Now I am maybe 100 to 200,000 followers away from having a total of 1 million followers online. And I feel like I've written about this on my physical journal, and I want to say this in a recording form, that I think followers in our society puts so much weight to them in like a social type of currency, that you get treated differently because of the followers you have, and I think it's all bullshit. I think it's incredible that I can create some content and it reaches, even if it reaches 100 people, I always find that fascinating to me. But to reach thousands and tens of thousands, or my TikTok is reaching millions and millions of people a week, that to me is just insane. But I think the hype around followers is irrelevant. I think 30 years from now, it does not matter. I think on my deathbed, I'm not going to care about how many, I have millions of followers. It does not matter. And I think if what I do in, being transparent, I've chosen to be transparent. I've had some pretty tough conversations, I think, in the last year with my wife, family, my dad, about talking about money specifically, because it's such a taboo subject. Right now, I like to think that I have the right intention and plan, and I'm someone who is being transparent about it because I have a cause, I have a mission, I have a vocation to help, and being transparent about my journey. I've shared my first dollar that I ever made, and now the numbers are just grown, and I think I would love to continue that. I want to continue it, but if it ever jeopardized my safety, or more importantly, the safety of the people I love, without a doubt, I would delete. It doesn't matter how many followers I have, I would delete it. I'd be off of it, because honestly, I don't think it matters. Now, just to prove a point, I could say, well, I could delete everything right now. However, it would be a very irresponsible fiscal decision, because I do have a legit business. I think this, right now, I think the problem is that society thinks that having a lot of followers means you're somehow better than other people, and I think that's wrong. I think that literally it does not make any legit sound sense to treat people differently based on the followers that they have. It's totally stupid. What I have figured out though is how to make money, how to monetize, and that is a different game. So it is a business to me. I treat it like a business. I have friends that real friends that I follow on social media. We're connected, but I do not spend any time consuming content. Rarely. I'm literally on every social media platform to create content. And this, I think, is a big time suck for people. They spend hours and hours consuming, and I think it's toxic. I think social media is toxic. I think it's not healthy. And yet here I am posting on all these platforms because I see the advantage of it from a business perspective. I think if it was not for business, if it wasn't for the money and the opportunity at hand to scale, I would 100% not do this, because there is always a fine line of creating content and inspiring versus humble bragging or people judging. And yeah, it's definitely more of a mental game, a burden, if you will. And I think I do it because the positive messages, and I mean by the hundreds, if not thousands, it's crazy. I feel bad because I can't respond to everyone. I would never go to sleep. My messages I'm getting on my email, amazing stories, I'm almost at the point I can't even read them all. And they're amazing, heartfelt messages of people saying, hey, Adrian, I look up to you. You're my role model. I've watched your stuff. I bought your stuff. And that to me, I remember the first time I was getting messages like that, I took the time to read. I had the time to write even personal thank you notes. I bought people books just because to say thank you. I was so grateful, and I still am so grateful. But now the scale is just starting to get to a point where I can't individually reply or even read. And it's just a great problem to have, but it makes me feel very humbled and also nervous a little bit because I what happens next? Does it just keep getting crazier? Yeah, it's just scary to think about, I guess, in a good and bad way. Right now, I tend to think that there's a lot of things that don't matter in the end. Maybe I'm more sinister or dark, but I think a lot of the stuff that not just I do, but a lot of people do, they worry and stress about, it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. I think what matters to me, it's love. It's my wife, it's my sister, it's my dad, it's my mom. I love them. And if it wasn't for them, if I didn't have them, if something happened to them, like anything is irrelevant to those relationships. That's, I guess, how do I value, what's most important to me? It's them. It's them. Everything else, it's nothing. It's nothing compared to those people in my life. 32 years old. I pray. Currently not going to church right now, doing van life, but I pray. I still strongly consider myself a Christian, and I think it's definitely the foundation of who I am as a person. I hope one day, hopefully it's this year at the age of 32, I can, if we do find a home, settle down and find a community. I feel like I'm missing that. I'm missing out on that, but I feel like a lot of people are, especially during COVID. It's hard to meet people and build a community, so I miss that. 31 was kind of the lone wolf with, except my wife. My wife, it's been her and I. Our relationship right now is the best it's ever been. We work together, and we live in a van together, tiny spaces, and all jokes aside, with the occasional new catchphrase, which is spatial awareness, as I walk from here and she's like right here trying to get through. Our relationship is the best it's ever been. And if something ever happens, like a fight or something, I'll have to look back on this video to remember that it's amazing right now. We are living small, intentionally, and we are rich and experienced, and we're on this adventure, and that is just so cool. Well, I feel like I should wrap this up because I really didn't have a set agenda or goal. I just wanted to share my honest thoughts of whatever was in my head. Maybe I shared it, not the right things. Or I guess years from now I'll be able to look back and be like, I can't believe you shared that. But for me, I just wanted to have some type of video journal message, more of to myself, but I hope it wasn't totally irrelevant to you for anyone that watched it. But life is definitely a crazy, crazy thing when you think about time. When you're in it, like right now, time is slow, and when you try to look at time ago, it is like a blink of an eye. Years go by, you're trying to reflect on a week, a month, a day, and it's like that. And that is the most scariest thing. I think that, this time, every second, every minute, every hour, every day, it is gone. As soon as it happens, you're living in the moment right now to never repeat it. So it's a good reminder that this is our only life. I will never be 31 again. And one day I'm going to die, which I think a lot of people don't think about. I do think about that. If that's dark, maybe, but I do think about dying. I do think that I'm going to be dead. I know I'm going to be dead one day. I'd like to think I'm going to die of old age, but you never know. And so I think about those things because they are basically my ultimate benchmark to how I live every single day. That is this going to matter when I'm old and gray? Is this going to matter when I'm on my deathbed? Or is this going to be the way I want to live my life, knowing that maybe I won't live a long time? So these ultimate type of questions is, I think I started thinking about them when I turned 30. And right now I can say, man, like I'm so grateful to have the life that I live. Of course I would love to live and die of old age. But in case I don't, I'm going to try to live every single day to the fullest and try to live a life of fulfillment and happiness and try to spend time with the people that matter most, doing the things that I love the most. And of course, not every single day is going to, live up to that standard, but at least I'm going to try every single day. And I guess that's all I can do. So, 32. This last part is really just strictly for myself. For a year's time, I want to say, Ashley, I love you very much. Thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for who you are. Mom, Dad, love you incredibly. Thank you for all the support you've given me over the years. Wouldn't be here without you. And Lydia, my sister, also